I was never like a popular kid in school, but I always ran for class president. I always and it was because I really, I believed that I had something to say. It wasn't that I thought I would ever get elected or I thought people knew who I was. Half the people were like, who is that person running for class president? I was not known, but I wanted to talk about things and I wanted people to talk with me about those things. And I couldn't understand why we didn't talk about them out loud. My family's originally from Kenya and from East Africa. My parents moved to Vancouver, I guess, when my sister was just under 3 and I was about 8 months old, and that became home really quickly. The conversation in our household was never about employment or a career. So many people's friends are talking to their parents about, their parents wanting them to have security and stability, and our parents were always about challenging us to think about if it was something that we were deeply curious about or something we thought we should be curious about. One of the things I remember as a kid, I would come downstairs in the morning and my sister at the age of 8 would be sitting with 3 newspapers in front of her like it was totally normal to be reading the newspaper. And so, I would sort of just pick up the newspaper to pretend I was reading it. My sister, when she was from the age of about 6 or 7 years old, was, had a camera in my face and a fork up to my mouth as the microphone and was interviewing me about near anything as I hid behind whatever book I could find.
I would sit you down in a chair. There would always be a chair. Did you dread when 2 chairs got set up in the balcony? Yeah. But what did you feel when you'd come down into the backyard and there would be 2?
Well, what did you feel is the question. What were you hoping for?
Anticipation. I was going to have a great conversation. And I would always go upstairs and get the closest thing I had to a Barbara Walters blazer in the summer and put it on. And then have a brooch because I was obsessed with Madeleine Albright. Yeah. This is revealing too much.
When she went to university, she reconnected to her love for journalism and then became a foreign correspondent for a significant portion of her 20s, living all over the Middle East. It was not uncommon to get a video conference with my sister and have her in a bulletproof vest in a hotel somewhere in the Middle East. She has consistently embraced her identity and her sense of place and her sense of difference, and has found power in that. And I think it took me a lot longer to do that. I think if you're lucky, you're not so aware that you're different. But it's only now that I'm seeing that I spent a good majority of my childhood trying to reconcile my sense of belonging in this country. Being asked through my childhood, where are you from? Where are you really from? I'm like, I promise I'm from Vancouver, I promise. And so that journey where I was constantly negotiating my own place led me to be interested in how others do the same. All of the problems I found myself most interested in were about finding your way to connection and finding your way to feeling like you could participate. When I was 22 years old, I moved to Toronto. People always say Toronto's a city of neighborhoods, but it's a city of communities. And you can be part of multiple communities in Toronto and have this really kaleidoscopic identity and get to explore that fully while being here, which I find so compelling. So many people can coexist and feel like this is theirs, it's for them. And so I would say that for me, that's been sort of the driver, and it's only become really explicit to me now that that's what I've been searching for my whole life and career. So my sister and I have started a foundation, and we are part of a cohort of 93 other young people who are learning about how to invest in the invisible by learning about what is truly needed in the city that no one is investing in. Until very recently, I would never call myself a philanthropist. That language was not of my household. If you had, you gave some. That was pretty much it. It was, almost karmic. I reject the notion that you become a philanthropist when you have a lot of money. I think you become a philanthropist when you decide to go out and help. You don't need to have, financial privilege. You don't need to have class privilege or even intellectual privilege. If you have any, you should use it, right? I think of the privilege of getting to come to Canada at 8 months old when leaving a really unstable country. That's a privilege, so that's enough.
there could be something about our foundation. Okay, there's a couple things to think about. One is like, you come to us if somewhere else rejected you.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
that resonates.
It's the first time in our lives we're getting to experiment with making meaning together on something, which is pretty cool. We've had a really diverse set of experiences. I'm seeing these beautiful new lives emerge that have so many of my parents' values, but also really Canadian values, and also values of, for me, the neighborhoods and places I've been a part of, and the countries and places my sister's been a part of. I want to use whatever skills are up here, not just in my hands, but to help a variety of different problems that I'm really curious about, to have an impact, but also I want to learn. Like, I think that's part of it too, is that I want to learn how you move the needle, and sometimes you just need to diversify where you invest your time in order to understand, what tools and what skills are needed to actually make impact happen.